Hello vinyl community, I'm back to do another installment of Rotations. I think this is number 6, and what Rotations is just me playing music from my collection that I've been playing since the last installment, and that's 5 days ago, so it's not that long ago, but I've been playing a lot of records because I have the time. I still hurt my back and I can't go out and do stuff that I want, like golf. And I'm also been researching for the next podcast that we're going to record tomorrow. So maybe this will give you a little hint of what's going to be played there. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't chosen the records I'm going to play yet. Playing in the background is Erik Enoksson's soundtrack to Apan. Apan means monkey in English. And it's a movie that came out a couple of years ago. Erik Enokssson is one of those musicians that you never hear of. No one talks about Erik Enokssson, and I can't understand why. He's a master musician on electronic drone in Sweden. I mean, I haven't heard anyone like him, and especially on the soundtrack to Farväl Falkenberg, which is a masterpiece. This was released in 250 or 260 copies, something like that, so it's very limited. It's cool, but it's a shame because it's on transparent vinyl, and the pressing quality is it sucks. So some of the tracks is just ruined by distortion and stuff like that. But some tracks are really good. So yeah, that's the deal there. I'm gonna start with some foreign records, and then I'm gonna end with some more or less rare Swedish prog fusion and jazz records. Okay, so let's start with a foreign record. This is Swedish. Anders Björler with Antikutera, released last year on Razzia Records, which is the record label of Anders Fridén from In Flames. Anders Björler is a heavy metal guitarist from At the Gates and Entomb, I think. What he did here is a prog record, instrumental prog record with fantastic musicians. That's Dick Löfgren of Meshuggah and Morgan Ågren, the drummer, the famous drummer, the fantastic drummer, Morgan Ågren. And this is not heavy metal, it's prog all the way through, inspired by Goblin and other soundtracks like Dario Argento or John Carpenter soundtracks. It's not finished yet. Okay, so highly recommended as a prog record, not a metal record at all. I think that's that, yeah. Foreign records. Too Fat 2, I've shown this 100 times. It feels like that anyway, but this is a fantastic record. On Rare Earth, released 1971. Yeah, Indian Summer, 2 minutes and 10 minutes, and Stick Heat, the first song, also really good. And you can feel the inspiration from Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple and those like early 70s bands that made good rock, hard rock music. But you have that kind of soulful Motown sound to it. It's really good. Check it out. If you have Toe Fat #1, the first record of this, hook me up with that one. I'll trade you with something good because I need that record. It's hard to find. Next one, also highly recommended, R. Dean Taylor. I Think Therefore I Am, also Rare Earth 1970. Yeah. So this is more like singer-songwriter, soulful pop. R. Dean Taylor was a writer for Motown. He wrote a lot of the music for Supremes and Marvin Gaye. But 1970 he got a shot on doing his own thing with this one. And in my opinion, this is fantastic. 8 maybe. It's really good music. He does a killer version of Sunday Morning Coming Down. But Gotta See Jane, the first song on the first side, it's just fantastic. I found this sealed for $1, and I found it after that for $1 that I gave to friends. if you find this for $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, pick it up. You won't be disappointed at all. Okay, so moving on to more Scandinavian music. I played this, it's been a while, and it blows me away every time. It gets better every time I play it. It's Tollonen by Jukka Tollonen on the famous Love records that we all love. Yeah, Love records. This is the Swedish Love records version, first release, first press, original, whatever you want to say. But as you can see, the cover is pretty bad, pretty beat. The vinyl is in good condition, but the cover is pretty beat. So that's a shame, but yeah, blows me away. It's just like all the other fusion records that were released in the beginning of the 70s, like but Jason Lind and Janne Schaffer and those Swedish guys. But this is almost better at least in the playing type and in the songs. You have Pekka Pohjola on bass on some tracks. Just a fantastic record. Also played Man at the Moon by Hansson and Karlsson, their second release, I think. This is the re-release from Record Store Day 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. Fantastic release, not as good as Monument, but still a great record. If you like Monument, check it out. Next one, a very important and somewhat rare prog record from Sweden in 1971, I think, Låt Almarna Leva. And this is important for many reasons. One is alm is this kind of tree here. I don't know what it's called in English, alm. And this is a political record because they wanted to tear these trees down in Stockholm to build a subway station. And the political left wing, I think, demonstrated against that. A lot of kids came down and demonstrated, don't cut the trees down, we want the trees to stay there. And known artists from the time came down, did some free concerts and talked about this at the spot. And they actually didn't tear down the trees, and there's not a subway station there today. Still, like 40 years afterwards. So that's kind of cool. 1971, the climate, excuse me. The progressive climate, or music-wise, in Sweden at the time is where prog in Sweden really hit it. You have 1968, 69, where Hansson Karlsson and Mickey Markman and Bo Anders Persson and those guys, they started the whole movement. But then when Kebnekaise and Samla Mammas Mannar and all those guys came in, that was in the 70s, 71, 72-ish. So this is like where it all began, prog-wise, music-wise. So for that case, this is an important music piece. None of those bands are on the record. It's just singer-songwriter kind of artists on it, like 3 artists. But yeah, it's an important piece. It's cool to have. Next one, also a kind of rare monster record in the fusion catalog in Sweden. Bitch Milk or Häxmjölk by Eskimo Heat, or Eskimo Heat maybe is the name of the record. Where you have Molano Gesama, Lennart Åberg, Jon Tolft, Harald Svensson. 1976. This is really good. The only thing I don't like about it is the production sound to it. It's this like late 70s, early 80s kind of sound where it's overproduced almost. I wish that it was more garagey and more dirty in the sound. It would be and sound better, but it's still a great record. I think that Chris Basket has it. If you know your Swedish prog, you know Kebnekaise, and this is the 3rd record of Kebnekaise. I play this because I know Kebnekaise's 2nd record pretty well. That's the most famous one. So, but I couldn't remember exactly how this sounded. But it was like I thought on the Silence label. It's just like the second one, only it lacks that kind of wow feeling to it that Kevin Kaiser's second record has, and the first one lacks that too. But the second one is their best, and it's also the one that's easiest to find. But this is still a great record with that sort of Swedish forest sounding airy prog that I just love. Moving on to another one, a more fusiony, jazzy record, Björn Gison Linds Från Storstad till Grodspad, from big city to frog sauce, maybe, I don't know. Fantastic cover of this one. Also kind of a rarity, and definitely the one in the Björn Gison Lind catalog that is hardest to get on Sveriges Radio Records Swedish radio. So public service. This was like a project or something with the elite of Swedish studio musicians at the time. You have Janne Schaffer, Palle Danielsson, Kenny Håkansson from Kevin Kaiser, Bengt Linnarsson, Rune Karlsson, Ola Brunket, Jan Bendel. I mean, the list goes on. Recorded in 1971, so it's his Björn Gison Lind's second or third record. And it's a monster. The first song is just a 20-minute long song with samples from the big city, like cars and trains and stuff like that sampled. And it goes through different movements with nicer parts with the flute and more acoustic instruments, moving into more electronic or electric instruments, and ending in a sort of like almost hard rock chapter, if I may call it that. Very, very interesting. Next one, jazz record from Sweden, Mount Everest, Jazz i Sverige 1979, Jazz in Sweden 1979. And this is on Caprice, Mount Everest's third record, I think. They won some sort of prize or something like that, and they got to record on Caprice Records. Their first record I don't know about. The second one I'm still looking for. It's the one called Movement of Albert Eiler that I really, really want, but it's hard to get. This is easier to get your hands on, a lot cheaper, but really, really good. And in my opinion, this is reference audio. If you want to play a record to check your equipment out, this is perfect. Just so good sound quality on this, and the music is just fantastic. Where you have, let's see here, saxophone, flute, piano, bass, and drums and percussion. 4 guys playing, and the piano and the bass and the drums, in my opinion, especially, are just mind-blowing. Just mind-blowing. The piano is just so airy and very like almost Jan Johansson-esque. Yeah, very, very Swedish sounding, in my opinion, but I mean, yeah, that's just my opinion. And last one I'm going to show you that I've played is Ablution, also a rare Swedish fusion record with some of the Eskimo Heat guys, Malan Gesama, but you also have Björn Gison Lind, Janne Schaffer, John Gustafsson. I don't know if he played with Quartermass, I'm not sure. Ola Brunket on drums. So yeah, and Pete Robinson. I don't know if it's like a mix between English and Swedish guys. This is, I guess, mid-70s, something like that, but I can't find a year. But I know that they recorded this Baltic record that I have with Swedish and English musicians. Maybe it's the same time period, and they recorded this at the same time. And they also did Pug Rogefeldt Pug's Hollywood record with, I think maybe Jon Gustafsson is on that too. But I'm not sure. Maybe they did like a couple of records at the same time. This is a monster. To be a fusion record from Sweden or the Scandinavian sort of fusion, this is heavy, really, really heavy. Bass is just pumping, and the sound quality is just fantastic on it too. So yeah, I enjoyed every second of playing these Swedish and Scandinavian records. I really got into them, and I'm a period kind of guy where I can listen to heavy metal and get into that and listen to that for a week, really intense, and then I just flip and do jazz for a week. But now it seems like I'm into this kind of fusion and prog thing again, and it feels so good every time. So that's it from me. Have a great day, guys, and see you soon. Bye.